this is the history of the country known as Albania. We first did Afghanistan. We're doing this in alphabetical order. So the next one on the list is Albania. The next one is going to be Algeria. Algeria, I think is that's how you say it. Algeria, Andorra, Angola, Antigua, and Barbuda, Argentina, Armenia, Australia, Austria, Azerbaijan. Then we're going to go on to B, which is way bigger than A. I'm actually pretty excited for you because that's what I'm doing. My country and everything. So yeah. All right. First things first. Apparently it was found at. Hey, Ivan. Sorry, guys. I'm just talking to my dog. Come on, baby. Ivan, be a good boy. Don't bark at the quap. Be a good boy. Alright. I just realized this is a really bad job. I'm sorry, but Albania's not that much of a popular country. So, there's only 2 guys who did it. There's 2 videos of it only. There's other ones, but I'm doing Navali Kamadi. I'll link in the description if you want to watch it. He did another one, terrible quality, like Jeebus. Also, I forgot to put this on loop. Sorry about that, guys. So let's begin. So, the territory now known as Albania remained under Roman control until the Slavs began to overrun it from the 7th century, and was captured by the Bulgarian Empire in the 9th century. After the weakening of the Byzantine Empire and the Bulgarian Empire in the middle and late 13th century, some of the territory of modern-day Albania was captured by the Serbian Principality. In general, the invaders destroyed or weakened Roman and Byzantine cultural centers in the lands that have become Albania. The territorial nucleus of the Albanian state formed in the Middle Ages as the Principality of Arbër and the Kingdom of Albania. The Principality of Arbër, or Albanian, was the first Albanian state during the Middle Ages. It was established by Archon Progon in the region of Kruja in C 1190. So, year 1190. Progon, the founder, was succeeded by his sons Jean and Dimitri. The latter, which attained the height of the realm after the death of Demeter. The last of the Progon family, the principality came under the Greek Georgi Kamanis, lord or prince of Kruja, and later Gollum. The principality was dissolved in the year 1255. Pipa and Rabishti concluded that Ebernon was the first sketch of an Albanian state, and that it retained semi-autonomous state as the western extremity of an empire. The Kingdom of Albania was established by Charles of Anjou in the Albanian territory. He conquered the Despotate of Epirus in 1271. He took the title of King of Albania in February 1272. The kingdom extended from the region of Dariz south along to the coast of Butrinit. After the creation of the kingdom, a Catholic political structure was a good basis for the papal plans of spreading Catholicism in the Balkans. This This found also the support of Helen of Anjou, a cousin of Charles of Anjou, who was at the time ruling territories in North Albania. Around 30 Catholic churches and monasteries were built during her rule in North Albania and Serbia. During 1331 to 55, the Serbian Empire wrestled over control over Albania. After the dissolution of the Serbian Empire, several Albanian principalities were created. Among the most powerful were the Balsha, Topia, Castroti, Muzaka, and Ariantia. In the first half of the 14th century, the Ottoman Empire invaded most of Albania, but in 1444, the Albanian principalities were under George Castriati Skanderberg, the national hero of Albania. And now, one second, guys. Alright, guys, I'm back, and now it's for Ottoman Albania. At the dawn of the establishment of the Ottoman Empire in Southeast Europe, the geopolitical landscape was marked by scattered kingdoms of small principalities. The Ottomans erected their garrisons throughout southern Albania by 1415 and occupied most of Albania by 1431. However, in 1443, a great and long-standing revolt broke out under the lead of the Albanian national hero Skanderbeg, which lasted until 1479, many times defeating major Ottoman armies led by Sultan Murad II and Muhammad II, Muhammad II pretty much. Skanderbeg united initially the Albanian Albanian princes, and later on established a centralized authority over most of the non-conquered territories. Becoming the ruling lord of Albania, he also tried relentlessly, but rather unsuccessfully, to create a European coalition against the Ottomans. He thwarted every attempt by the Turks to regain Albania, which they envisioned as a springboard for the invasion of Italy and Western Europe. His unequal fight against the mightiest power of the time won the esteem of Europe, as well as some support in the form of money and military aid from the Napolis, the Papacy, Venice, and Ragusa. With the arrival of the Turks, Islam was introduced to Albania as a third religion. This conversion caused a massive immigration of Albanians to the Christian European countries. Along with the Bosniaks, Muslim Albanians occupied an outstanding position in the Ottoman Empire and were the main pillars of Ottoman's Portuguese policy in the Balkans. Enjoying this privileged position in the empire, Muslim Albanians held various high administrative positions, with over 24 Grand Viziers of Albanian origin, such as Gen Kaparulu Mehmed Pasha, who commanded the Ottoman forces during the Ottoman-Persian Wars. Gen Kaparulu Fazil Ahmed, who led the Ottoman armies during the Austro-Turkish War, and later Muhammad Ali Pasha of Egypt. In the 15th century, when the Ottomans were gaining a firm foothold in the region, Albanian towns were organized into 4 principal sanjaks. The government frustrated trade by settling a sizable Jewish colony of refugees fleeing persecution in Spain. Lori saw passing through its ports important merchandise from Europe, such as velvets, cotton goods, mohairs, carpets, spices, and leather from Bruza and Constantinople. Some citizens of Lori even had business associates throughout Europe. Albanians could also be found throughout the empire in Iraq, Egypt, Algeria, and across the Maghreb as vital military and administrative retainers. This was partly due to the Dezremi system. The process of Islamization was an incremental one. Commencing from the arrival of the Ottomans in the 14th century in the 14th century, Tamar holders, the bedrock of early Ottoman control in Southeast Europe, were not necessarily converts to Islam and occasionally rebelled. The most famous of these rebels is Skanderbeg. The most significant impact on the Albanians was a gradual Islamization process of a large majority of the population. Although throughout it became widespread only in the 17th century, many Catholics converted in the 17th century, while the Orthodox Albanians followed suit mainly in the following century, initially confined to the main city centers of Elbasan and Shkodër. By this period, the countryside was also embracing the new religion. The motives for conversion, according to some scholars, were diverse. Depending on the context, the lack of source material does not help when investigating such issues. Albania remained under Ottoman control as part of the Rumelia province until 1912, when independent Albania was declared. How you guys are doing so far? I actually like this. Tell me what you guys think about this series in the comments. If any of you actually want to comment, it's up to you. I don't blame you. No. Alright. Now to the era of nationalism and the League of Prison. The League of Prison, was formed on the 1st of June, 1878 in Prizren, Kosovo, Vilayet of Ottoman Empire. At the first, Ottoman authorities supported the League of Prizren, whose initial position was based on the religious solidarity of Muslim landlords and people connected with the Ottoman administration. The Ottomans favored and protected Muslim solidarity and called for defense of Muslim lands, including present-day Bosnia and Herzegovina. This was the reason for the naming the League the Committee of the Real Muslims. The League issued a decree known as Karar name. Its text contained a proclamation that the people from northern Albania, Epirus, and Bosnia are willing to defend the territorial integrity of the Ottoman Empire by all possible means. Against the troops of Bulgaria, Serbia, and Montenegro, it was signed by 47 Muslim deputies of the League on the 18th of June, 1878. Around 300 Muslims participated in the assembly, including delegates from Bosnia and Mutarev of the Sanjak of Prizren as representatives of the central authorities, and no delegates from Secretary Vilayet. The Ottomans canceled their support when the League, under the influence of Abdel Bey Fesheri, became focused on walking toward Albanian autonomy and requested merging of 4 Ottoman vilayates into a new vilayet of the Ottoman Empire. I'm sorry, guys, man. If you think I'm a complete idiot pronouncing these, I don't even know what most language they speak. Like, I'm guessing mostly, I'm not even sure if they have their own language. Albanian, I don't know, Albania, yeah. I don't really damn know, but who cares? I'm doing my best, everyone, I'm sorry. So yeah, let's go. Alright, let's continue. The League used military force to prevent the annexing areas of Plav and Guzinji assigned to Montenegro by the Congress of Berlin. After several successful battles with Montenegrin troops, such as in Novici, under the pressure of the Great Powers, the League of Prizren was forced to retreat from their contested regions of Plav and Guzinji, and later on the League was defeated by the Ottoman army sent by the Sultan. The Albanian uprising of 1912, the Ottoman defeat in the Balkan Wars, and the advance of Montenegrin, Serbia, and Greek forces into territories claimed as Albanian, led to the proclamation of independence by Ismail Kemali in Vlora on the 28th of November 1912, 2 years before World War I. Alright. Independence, yes. At the All-Albanian Congress in Vlori on the 28th of November 1912, Congress participants constituted the Assembly of Vlori. The Assembly of 83 leaders meeting in Vlori in November 1912 declared Albania an independent country and set up for provisional government. The provisional government of Albania was established on the second session of the Assembly held on the 4th of December 1912. It was a government of 10 members led by Islami Kemali until his resignation. God damn, man, I suck at these. I mean, this is also in English. Oh God, I suck. I'm supposed to be like, I actually read as a college level. I can't read this stuff, man. God damn. And members led by Islami Kemali until his resignation. Okay, I'm just gonna say he retired, okay? Jesus Christ, okay, man. On 22nd January 1914, the Assembly also established the Senate with an adversary role to the government, consisting of 18 members of the Assembly. Albania's independence was recognized by the Conference of London on the 29th of July 1913. But the drawing of the borders of the newly established Principality of Albania ignored the demographic realities of the time. The International Commission of Control was established on 15th October 1913 to take care of the administration of newly established Albania until its own political institutions were in order. Its headquarters were in Vlori. The International Gendarmerie was established as the first law enforcement agency of the Principality of Albania. At the beginning of November the 1st, Gendarmerie members arrived in Albania. Wilhelm of Weed, was selected as the first prince. In November 1913, the Albanian pro-Ottoman forces had offered the throne of Albania to the Ottoman war minister of Albanian origin. Izet Pasha, the pro-Ottoman peasants, believed that the new regime of Principality of Albania was a tool of the six Christian great powers and the local landowners that owned half of the arable land. On 28th February 1914, the Ottoman Republic of Northern Epirus was proclaimed in Gjor Astur by the local Greek population against incorruption to Albania. The initiative was short-lived, and in 1921, the southern provinces were finally incorporated to the Albanian Principality. Meanwhile, the revolt of Albanian peasants against the new Albanian regime erupted among the leadership of the group of the Muslim clerics, gathered around Asad Pasha Topatani, who proclaimed himself the savior of Albania and Islam, in order to gain support of the Merdita Catholic volunteers from the northern mountains. Prince of Wied, spelled W-I-E-D, I'm going to say it's Wied, I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it, appointed the leader, Prince Baby Doda, to be the foreign minister of the Principality of Albania. In May and June 14th, the International Gendarmerie, joined by Isa Bulitani and his men, mostly from Kosovo, and northern Merdita Catholics, were defeated by the rebels, who captured most of central Albania by the end of August 1914. The regime of Prince of Wied collapsed, and he left the country on the 3rd of September 1914. Trying to get tired, guys. The short-lived principality. Oh, I mean, we're on Republic and Monarchy right now. Just to let you guys know. God, I still got a little bit to go. I got like 4 more, including this one. So, the short-lived principality, 1914 to 1925, was succeeded by the First Albanian Republic of 1925 to 1928. In 1925, the 4-member regency was abolished, and Ahmed Zogu was elected president of the newly declared republic. Tirana was endorsed officially by the government as the country's permanent capital. Zogu led an authoritarian and conservative regime, the primary aim of which was the maintenance and stability and order. Zogu was forced to adopt a policy of cooperation with Italy, a pact that had been signed between Italy and Albania on the 20th January 1925, where Italy gained a monopoly on shipping and trade concessions. The Albanian Republic was eventually replaced by another monarchy in 1928. In order to extend his direct control throughout the entire country, Zogu placed great emphasis on the construction of roads. Every male Albanian over the age of 16 was legally bound to give 10 days of free labor each year to the state. King Zogu remained a conservative, but initiated reforms, for example, an attempt at social modernization. The custom of adding one's region to one's name was dropped. Zogu also made donations of land to international organizations for the building of schools and hospitals. The armed forces were trained and supervised by Italian instructors. As a counterweight, Zogu kept British officers in the Gendarmerie, despite strong Italian pressure to remove them. The kingdom was supported by the fascist regime in Italy, and the two countries maintained close relations until Italy's sudden invasion of the country in 1939. Oh, this is in World War II. Albania was occupied by fascist Italy and then by Nazi Germany during World War II. So now we're on to World War II era. Yay! Yay! Alright, let's get it going then. Alright, World War II. After being military occupied by Italy from 1939 until 1943, the Albanian kingdom was a protectorate and dependency of Italy, governed by the Italian King Victor Emmanuel III and his government after the Axis invasion of Yugoslavia in April 1941. Territories of Yugoslavia with substantial Albanian population were annexed to Albania. Most of Kosovo, as well as Western Macedonia, the town of Tutin in central Serbia, and a strip of eastern Montenegro. In November 1941, the small Albanian communist groups established an Albanian Communist Party in Tirana of 130 members. Under the leadership of Enver Hoxha and a 11-man central committee, the party at first had little mass appeal, and even its youth organization knitted few recruits. After March 1943, the National Liberation Movement formed its first and second regular battalions, not battalions. Oh no, it is battalions. Sorry, which essentially became brigades to operate along with existing smaller and irregular units. Resistance to the occupied grew rapidly as signs of Italian weakness became apparent. At the end of 1942, guerrilla forces numbered no one than 8,000 to 10,000. By the summer of 1943, when the Italian effort collapsed, almost all of the Mediterranean interior was controlled by resistance units. After the capitulation of Italy in 1943, Nazi Germany occupied Albania too. The nationalist Bali Kumbetar, which had fought against Italy, formed a neutral government in Tirana, and side by side with the Germans fought against the communist-led National Liberation Movement of Albania. The Center for Relief to Civilian Populations reported that Albania was one of the most devastated countries in Europe. 60,000 houses were destroyed, and about 10% of the population was left homeless. The communist partisans had regrouped and gained control of much of southern Albania. In January 1944, however, they were subject to German attacks, driving them out of certain areas. In the Congress of Permet, the NFL formed an anti-fascist council of national liberation to act as Albanians' administration and legislation. Screw it. I'm not going to say it, okay? I don't damn know how to say it. Let me see. Legislator. By the last year in World War II, Albania fell into a civil war-like state, being communist and nationalist. The communist partisans, however, defeated the last Bali Kumbetar forces in southern Albania by mid-summer 1944. Before the end of November, the main German troops had withdrawn from occupation on the 29th November 1944. Provisional government, which the communists had formed at Berat in October, administrated Albania with Enver Hoxha as prime minister. Communist Albania. By the end of World War II, the main military and political force in the country, the Communist Party, sent forces to northern Albania against the nationalists to eliminate its rivals. They faced open resistance in Nakaj, Mertor, Dugag, and Keldmend. On the 15th January 1945, a clash took place between partisans of the 1st Brigade and national forces at the Tamara Bridge, resulting in the defeat of the nationalist forces. About 150 Kelmendi people were killed or tortured. This event was the starting point of many other issues which took place during Enver Hoxha's dictatorship. Class struggle was strictly appealed, human freedom and human rights were denied. Kelmend region was isolated both by the border and lack of roads for another 20 years. The institution of architectural cooperative brought about economic decline. Many Kelmendi people fled. Some were executed trying to cross the border. After the liberation of Albania from Nazi occupation, the country became a communist state, the People's Republic of Albania, which was led by Enver Hoxha, and the Labour Party of Albania. This is actually probably the biggest one there is. The Socialist The Socialist Reconstruction of Albania was launched immediately after the annulling of the monarchy and established of a People's Republic. In 1947, Albania's first railway line was completed, with the second completed 8 months later. New land reform laws and passed, granting the land to workers and peasants who tilled it. The agriculture became cooperative, and production increased significantly, leading to Albanians becoming architecturally self-sufficient by 1955. Literacy was eliminated among Albania's adult population. During this period, Albania became industrialized and saw rapid economic growth, as well as unprecedented progress in the areas of education and health. The average annual rate of Albania's national income was 29 higher than the world average and 56 higher than the European average. Albania's communist constitution did not allow taxes on individuals. Instead, taxes were imposed on cooperatives and other organizations with much the same effect. Religious freedoms were severely circulated during the communist period, with all forms of worship being outlawed. In August 1945, the Algerian reform law meant that large swaths of property owned by religious groups, mostly Islamic, were nationalized, along with the estates of monasteries and dioceses. Many believers, among with the ulema and many priests, were arrested and executed in 1949. A new decree on religious communities around that all their activities by sanctioned by the state alone. In 1967, after hundreds of mosques and dozens of Islamic libraries containing priceless manuscripts were destroyed, Hoxha proclaimed Albania as the world's first atheist state. The country's churches had not been spared either, and many were converted into cultural centers for young people. A 1967 law banned all fascist, religious, warmongerish, anti-socialist activity and propaganda. Preaching religion carried a 3 to 10 years prison sentence. Nonetheless, many Albanians continued to practice their beliefs secretly. The Hoxha dictatorship's anti-religion crusade intended its most fundamental legal and political expression a decade later. The state recognizes no religion, declared Communist Albania's 1976 constitution, and supports and carries out atheistic propaganda in order to implant a scientific materialistic world outlook in people. Hoxha's political successor, Ramiz Alia, oversaw the dismemberment of the Hoxha state during the breakup of the Eastern Bloc in later 1980s. Oh wow, guys, we're at the last one. Yay, everyone! Which is the post-communist Albania. No modern day or anything, but post-communist Albania. After protests beginning in 1989 and reforms by the communist government in 1990, the People's Republic was dissolved in 1991 to 92. The Republic of Albania was founded. The communists retained a stronghold in parliament and after popular support in the elections of 1991. However, in March 1992, amended liberalization policies resulting in economic collapse and social unrest. A new front led by the New Democratic Party took over. Finally, democracy came over. In the following years, much of the accumulated wealth of the country was invested in Ponzi, pyramid banking schemes, which were widely supported by government officials. These schemes swept up somewhere between 1/6 to 1/3 of the country's population. Despite IMF warnings in late 1996, then President Salih Bergia defended all the schemes as large investment firms needed more people to redirect their remittances and sell their homes and cattle for cash to deposit in the schemes. The schemes began to collapse late 1996, leading many of the investors into initially peaceful protest against the government, requesting their money back. The protest turned violent in February as government forces responded with fire. In March, the police and Republican Guard deserted, leaving their armories open. They were promptly amputated by militias and criminal gangs. The resulting crisis caused a wave of evacuations of foreign nationalists and of refugees. The crisis led Prime Minister Alexander Mixi to resign on 11th March 1997, followed by President Sali Bergia in July. In the wake of the June general election in April 1997, Operation Alba, a UN peacekeeping force led by Italy, entered the country with two goals: assistance in evacuation of expertise to secure the ground for international organizations. This was primarily WEU MAP, who worked with the government in reconstructing the judicial system and police. The Socialist Republic won the elections in 1997, and a degree of political stabilization found in 1999. The country was affected by the Kosovo War, when a great number of Albanians from Kosovo found refuge in Albania. Albania became a full member of NATO in 2009 and has appealed to join the European Union in 2013. The Socialist Party won the national elections in June 2014. The Republic of Albania became an unofficial candidate for accession to the European Union. I'm scrolling through the other page to see if there's anything else. Let's see here. Alright. Yeah, I don't see anything. Alright. So that's the history of Albania. Not even as long as Afghanistan, but hopefully it will do for you guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.